Every year, around 100 billion packs of instant noodles are consumed worldwide. That's nearly 13 packs for every person on the planet. But have you ever stopped while enjoying that comforting bowl of instant noodles to wonder how they got there? In reality, that humble block of noodles is the result of a fascinating production process. In instant noodle factories, a perfect choreography of cutting-edge machinery and artisanal skill unfolds to create the quick and delicious food you enjoy. This fast and convenient food transforms from a dry block into a comforting soup in a matter of minutes. It was recognized as the greatest Japanese invention of the 20th century, and it's not surprising given that it has saved many students and busy individuals from hunger when time is scarce. The inventor of instant noodles, Momofuku Ando, was inspired to create this food after seeing people lining up for a bowl of ramen noodles during the post-war era in Japan. His idea was to provide a nutritious, easy-to-prepare, and accessible food for all that could help alleviate hunger in tough times. Out of this desire, instant noodles were born. It all starts with the raw material, wheat flour. This is loaded into large industrial mixers that continuously process tons of flour per day. The flour is mixed with water and salt, creating an elastic and sturdy paste, essential for the future noodles. This is a carefully calibrated process. The right balance of moisture is crucial for the noodles to maintain their shape and texture. After kneading, the dough is allowed to rest for a set period. This resting time allows the gluten to relax, making the dough more flexible. This helps make the following rolling and cutting process easier. Once the perfect dough is obtained, it goes through a series of rollers that flatten it to the desired thickness. The dough, initially thicker than your arm, is transformed into a thin sheet, thinner than rice paper. This process not only determines the final thickness of the noodles, but also contributes to their unique texture. Passing through the rollers helps develop the gluten in the flour, giving the noodles their characteristic elasticity. As the dough is repeatedly passed through the rollers, it is stretched and thinned until it reaches the right thickness for instant noodles. Once transformed into a thin sheet, the dough is directed to cutting machines, where it is cut into noodles. This process, although it may seem simple, is a turning point in the production of instant noodles. This is where the length and width of the noodles are defined. Each cutter is equipped with an array of blades that can be adjusted to produce noodles of various shapes and sizes, from the thin threads of ramen soup to the wider, flat noodles of pasta. Depending on the type of instant noodle being produced, the cutting machine can have different blade configurations to create specific shapes. After cutting, the noodles are not yet ready for the soup. The noodles are separated and collected on trays or conveyors. At this stage, a starch coating is applied to the noodles to prevent them from sticking together. The noodles are initially too moist and tender for long-term pantry storage. To overcome this, the noodles undergo a steam cooking process, during which they are exposed to high temperatures. This step contributes to the development of their ultimate flavor and texture. Next, they undergo a quick frying process that removes moisture and makes them crispy, facilitating long-term storage. This rapid cooking process aims to stabilize the structure of the noodles and remove excess surface starch. After pre-cooking, the noodles are rinsed with cold water to stop the cooking process and reduce their temperature. This helps to maintain the right texture of the noodles and prevents them from becoming soggy. Once the noodles are rinsed and cooled, they are drained to remove excess water. The noodles are subjected to a drying process to remove the remaining moisture. This process can be carried out through air drying or using controlled hot air. In the case of air drying, the noodles are placed in areas with good air circulation to allow moisture to evaporate gradually. During the drying process, temperature and time are carefully controlled to avoid overheating or inadequate drying of the noodles. The result is that familiar block of dry and compact noodles, ready to be revived with some hot water. The interesting part of the process is the formation of the noodle blocks. After steaming and frying, the noodles are placed in molds that give them their characteristic square or circular shape, typical of the instant noodles we know. These steps make up only half of the journey that noodles go through before reaching your bowl. Each step is meticulously designed to ensure that every package of noodles provides a consistent and delightful experience. But what happens after the noodles are dry and ready to be packaged? The answer lies in the toppings and seasonings that give each bowl of instant noodles its unique flavor and personality. While the noodle block remains essentially the same in each brand, it's the broth and seasonings that make each package different. Instant noodle broths can be very diverse, ranging from classic chicken broth to rich and spicy options. Each broth is prepared separately in enormous kettles that can hold up to thousands of liters of soup at a time. Spices, aromatic ingredients, and proteins are slow cooked together, resulting in a rich and concentrated liquid that is later dehydrated and turned into powder. These dry seasonings not only add flavor, but also texture and color to the final soup, making each bowl a feast for the senses. Once the broths and seasonings are ready, it's time to package them along with the noodles. The noodle blocks, powdered broth, and dry seasonings are placed together in individual packages. This not only keeps all the components together, but also ensures the freshness of the ingredients. Once packaged, the noodles are ready to be sent to stores around the world, waiting for the moment when someone adds hot water to bring them back to life. The design of instant noodle packaging is not only aesthetically pleasing, but also functional. The inner aluminum foil keeps the noodles fresh and protected from light, moisture, and microorganisms. Some packages are designed to serve as a temporary bowl, allowing the preparation and consumption of noodles in the same packaging to ensure that each package of instant noodles reaches you in perfect condition. Companies implement rigorous quality controls, and products undergo tests of strength, visual inspections, and most importantly, taste tests. A team of expert tasters test each batch of noodles and broths to ensure they meet the taste expectations. However, despite their convenience and popularity, it's also true that